Right, so I'm going to do a burger today. I'm not going to do any chips or anything. I haven't got any. I do have potatoes, but that's for something else. Oh my goodness. So I'll cut my glass to break. Yeah, I don't want just a burger. I'm not going to do any chips or anything with it. Just a burger. And parsley, spring onion. Oh, I've got cheese as well. Maybe I'll put a wee bit of cheese on it. So a few different ways to do burgers. Ketchup and mayonnaise. Still, I don't need that. Ketchup and mayonnaise. So you can. So I was watching Heston. You can see the Heston Blumenthal video where he cooks the perfect burger, and one of the things he did was he's, you know, when you look at this beef, what he's kind of doing was keeping the structure like that, keeping all these wee wiggly lines together, and then frying it like that, and then when you bite into it, your teeth follow through the gaps and you follow the line of how that meat is laid out, and then it's nice and falls apart. You can also, some people will make burgers where they only have beef and nothing through it, and then they sear it and salt and pepper on the outside, and that's it. And then they put tomatoes and the salad and salsas and whatnot, and that's where the flavour comes from. Or that's where these extra flavours come from. And then you've got that with solid beef. That's another purist's kind of way. I'm not really going to do that. I actually quite like some onion and some flavour through the beef. I think I prefer that. So I'm going to do that, even though that's maybe technically not the pure way of doing it. I actually sometimes put garlic through it as well. I quite like that. But I don't think I'll do that today. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video there just for 1 minute. Sorry, I don't want to film in my bedroom, but my cat went into the bedroom, and I don't like him going into the bedroom because he leaves hairs and stuff everywhere, so I had to just shoo him out. Yeah. It's maybe a bit, actually that's not very fun. It's better, isn't it? I've got these brioche burger buns. I just butter them and eat them. Not necessarily, don't just necessarily have them with burgers. Okay, what am I doing now? Right. What I would normally do is I would take a portion of this beef, and I would chop up some raw onions and put that through. What am I going to do? You can put ketchup and you can put all kinds of stuff through the beef. You can put some spices and things through it. But what I've got here, basically it's an onion marmalade. This is actually quite old, this gear actually, so I kind of keep forgetting about it. So what this is you get some red onions and you fry them. And you get like 6 or 8 onions or whatever. I'll do this in another recipe one day. So you get a nice big pot, good glug of olive oil, and then you slice up several red onions, put them in and gently fry them on a low heat for say half an hour, and then add in some balsamic vinegar and some sugar. So you get oil, vinegar and sugar, all these preservatives, and then you keep frying it again for another half an hour. So you cook these onions for about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes or so. Can't quite remember. But what you create is this sort of jam, this chutney, this onion marmalade it's called. And if you roast this in the oven, so like if you're doing a pizza, even if it's a shop bought one, any kind of pizza at all, stick a wee bit of this on top, and that will roast up a treat, because you've got the sugar, you've developed sweetness in the onions, and you've added sugar, and then so it's already sweet, and then you roast it in the oven, and it's amazing. So it's really good. roasted in the oven. And so you can actually roast this and put it on top of the burger. So you got your bun with the burger and then a bit of roasted this on top of that. That works nicely as well. But then I thought, well, why not put this through the beef? So that's what I'm going to do. So that rather than putting it on top, I'll put it through the beef. But if you, obviously this is and you can buy these onion chutneys. There's a girl who used to be at Borough Market. It's a bit Londony, it's a wee bit kind of posh. But there's a girl called Ruby's in the Rubble, and they sell these wee jars of chutneys and things, and I think they do an onion one. So you can buy jars of onion chutney. So we'll try it and see how this goes. But raw onions, raw white or red onions chopped through this beef would work just as well. So I'm going to take a portion of this, drop it on my phone, and then when you think of the quantity, you think of a quarter pounder. You kind of think that's the sort of starting point. I should maybe weigh it, but can't be bothered. I think that's going to be a fairly generous burger. I think that'll do it. I'm going to make mince and potatoes with that, so we'll do that in another video. As usual, you have to destroy the packaging, so I have to use now more plastic to seal this up, which is a bit annoying. And then this will have touched raw meat, so I have to bin it after that. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Okay. Now, some people will be saying don't put salt through this, you should just put the salt on top, but I'm not going to store these. If you were maybe storing them for any length of time, then maybe don't put salt through them, but I'm not going to be storing these. This is going to be quite big actually, but maybe too big in fact, but that'll be alright. Crush it down. So other flavours through this, I think we've got an onion flavour through it. I think that'll do. I'll just put some salt and pepper through it and that'll do. Turn this on. I mean, you could be putting any kind of powders through this as well. Curry powder, Cajun spices, barbecue spices, anything at all really. You know, you can go mad. You can put any kind of herbs and spices through this. Herbs, actually. Let's think about herbs. We've got some parsley, but why not put a wee bit of thyme through it? I'll add a wee kick to it, and that thyme won't be cooked out too much because it'll be kind of in the middle of the beef, so that could work actually. And now that's good. I mean, these onions just smell really, really good. They smell good already, but once you fry them up, they should be even better. And I don't use any egg to bind anything together. I'm not really interested in that. See, I just use this this form, and I'm going to press it down just to get a rough shape. Compact it down, even though Heston says not to do this, but it gives a perfectly good burger. So. And set it in the fridge and all that. You can do, but I'm just going to be careful when I fry it. It would set, you know, it would set quite nicely in the fridge. This is a 5% beef, just sorry, 5% fat. Whether that's good or bad, I don't really know, but it's actually quite thick. And I might actually, I might pause the video and come back to this. We'll do the wee salsa thing for it. That's actually quite big, but it's good, it'll be good. It'll take a wee while to cook this actually. Old-fashioned slice. If you want to turn it fairly frequently, this is pretty good, this slice, because it's nice and big. Right down under it. And this is the thing, without any binding and without letting it sit in the fridge, it's a wee bit fragile. But you just keep pushing it together like that, it should be alright. Four's a bit high, we'll leave it on 2. There's a wee bit of blackness on it, but that's good, that's all flavour. So that's basically it. You're just going to keep turning that and turning that every few minutes until it's done. So in terms of toppings, let's have a wee bit of I think I'll do a wee mixture again. Let's mix everything together, makes life easier. So let's do parsley. Remember, it's just one burger I'm going to do here, so we don't need a lot. A wee bit of the spring onion. These are not very good. Just going to bin some of these. These don't look bad. I've just bin that. It doesn't look very good. 50p or something for a. No, these have not lasted very well, have they? So turn that down to 2 of 6, so fairly low now. Because the sugar in those onions, they'll catch a wee bit, they'll burn a wee bit, so you just got to watch that. Guess that's the drawback of putting those onions through it. But, there's a wee bit of dampness in them, so I shall just turn that bag inside out. That'll be dry. Just dry those onions. You don't need many, they're quite strong. It's a wee bit fragile, but it's okay. As with a lot of things like this, what you find is, it's like pastry and breads and stuff, the more difficult it is to work, the tastier it is. So this is quite difficult to turn over, and that is breaking apart a bit. But what that will mean is, when you come to eat it, it will just melt in your mouth, it will just, you know, it'll be good. And I'm just making this wee salsa with what I happen to have. It's not because I think that this is the right way to do it, but chilies would be good in it as well, but I don't have any. Coriander as well would be good. I don't have any. So, a bit of ketchup. ketchup and mayonnaise. Tabasco sauce might be nice in that as well. Tamari Rose type sauce, but don't have any of that here. Just makes life a wee bit easier to mix everything up beforehand rather than doing them individually at the end. Cheese. I'm not a huge fan of cheese on my burger. I don't know. I'll see. I'll decide that at the end. What I do tend to prefer is the cheese cold and unmelted at the end. I tend to prefer that than melted cheese. But we shall see. So that's a nice wee bit of salsa with the sauces through it as well, and we'll just stick that on the end. Let's stick that on the top at the end. For some reason they don't go all the way through with these burgers, but all I'm going to do is toast them, and I've got my bagel setting on my toaster, which there's a wee button there, and what it does is when you put it down it only puts the two inner elements on, so it does not burn the outside of it. It's pretty good. So just leave that on number 2 and just carefully keep flipping it. See, it's split a wee bit, but that's okay. Some good turn that down to 1 now. Some good charring on that. That looks nice. Nice and blackened. Fairly thick actually, so I want to cook that a wee bit longer. So what I will do is, I think I'll pause the video just now. I'm going to turn that'll take another 5-10 minutes because it's fairly thick. So you can see the clock, and I will come back shortly. Alright, so all I've done is I've just turned it a couple of times. Put that on. It's fallen apart a wee bit, but it's fallen apart a wee bit, but turn round. So I won't turn it again. We'll just what am I saying? Yeah, I'll put a wee bit of cheese on it. So all I need to do is just toast the bun. I've turned that off now, and we'll just have to wrangle it and wrestle it on. I'm going to have some beer with this. What do I want on the bottom of the bun? Ideally you'd want some lettuce to stop it going soggy, but I haven't got any, so I'll put a bit of mayonnaise. Doesn't look the best, but once it's in the bun it'll be absolutely fine. And just like those kind of things, because I think if I had put it in the fridge and let it set up in the fridge, when it comes to frying it would have held together better. But I kind of don't care, because it's going to get, as soon as you start eating any burger, it's all going to fall apart anyway. And this just means it's going to be nice and soft and crumbly, and the texture will be really good. I never have lettuce. I never really use lettuce, but if I had some lettuce, I would put it on. I would put it on this. Just caught that in time. Turn that down a bit, that's a wee bit. See the flipping smoke coming off it. It's really, really hot. Okay, look at that, perfect. So that's just your toasted brioche bun, but any bread roll will do. I'm going to put a wee bit of mayonnaise on the bottom. If I want to do that, I think it might make it soggy, but good. Just a wee touch of mayonnaise on the bottom. And I think this burger is a bit too big for the bread, but again, it doesn't matter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's falling apart a wee bit. Nicely charred. Yeah, the onions have made it, it's blackened it a wee bit. I mean, I'm not going to use the, I'm not going to say burnt, but it's a wee bit nicely charred. Do I want the cheese first or do I want the salsa first? Yeah, I want the cheese. I quite like the cheese not melted. I kind of prefer the cheese like that. It'll just melt a wee bit, but I kind of prefer it that way. So this was just the mayonnaise, ketchup, tomatoes, spring onions, parsley, just a wee bit of salsa. Pop that on top. And this is going to be very, very messy to eat this. But yeah, so that's you there. So that's a nice wee quick burger. All falling apart, and it's going to be a right mess. But that should be quite tasty actually, that should be quite good. But just shows you that, you know, that's how you just do a basic burger, just your minced beef, and then flavour it with anything you want. I've just gone onions, but any powders, any kind of herbs, spices, anything you like, ketchup, garlic, brown sauce, any kind of sauces and things like that you can put through the beef if you want, or just plain, and then just fry it. That's it. That's just a basic burger. That's done.